Welcome back to our 8-part mini health session. My name is Dr. Shmuel Shields. I'm a nutritionist. Any questions or comments, please direct them to events@chazak.org. They're sponsoring this series today. Chazak is spelled C-H-A-Z-A-Q. Okay, so now we are going to talk about managing blood sugar. We know that blood sugar, unfortunately, has blood sugar problems, I should say, particularly diabetes, has become an epidemic, as has heart disease and unfortunately cancer. At one point in our history, going back maybe 150 years ago, 100 at the turn of the century, we didn't see the rate of these kind of catastrophic diseases. Sometimes they're called lifestyle diseases, but there are things that we can do to reduce our risk, and probably the most important thing I can tell you is to take great care to better manage your blood sugar. Unfortunately, the typical American diet today is loaded with a lot of refined and processed sugars, a lot of refined carbohydrates, and these things lead to spikes in blood sugar. And then what happens is our insulin stops working, doesn't work as well. We lose the ability for the insulin, which is a hormone which allows the body to use glucose and get it into the cells where it's needed for energy. Insulin loses its capacity to do that, and then we develop a disease called diabetes. So all I can tell you is, by sticking with what we were talking about all along, with a whole food meal plan, we can dramatically reduce the risk for this kind of a disease. I know there is certainly a genetic predisposition to all of these kinds of diseases, so there's no guarantee, but the Ribono Shel Olam wants us to do the hishtadlus, to try to protect our health, and that's our obligation, to make the effort. Results are in Hashem's hands, but there are many steps we can take on our own to protect our health, by managing our weight, not smoking, exercising, and of course getting enough sleep, and emphasizing good food choices, good snack choices, good beverage choices, and so on. So look for, when you're shopping, try to look at your labels. If you see sugars are added to all the processed foods. You can't go to the supermarket and not pick up a packaged item in a box, a can, a bag, a bottle, a jar, a container that doesn't have sugar, from your common breakfast cereals to yogurt to ketchup to mustard to whatever you're buying. Sugar is going to be there on the label. So you have to try to be more selective and try to get more fresh items, more unprocessed items, maybe some frozen vegetables instead of things in the can. So there are ways. You want to read your labels. You want to stick with whole foods. You want to stay away from, the obvious sources of sugar in the diet, candy and cakes and pastries and sugary drinks, and even a glass of juice. A glass of orange juice with no sugar added will have, look on your labels, for those of you that are juice drinkers, look at the grams of sugar in an 8-ounce serving or whatever the serving cup is on the container, and you'll see sometimes 28 grams of sugar or more. Keep in mind, a very important number I want to give you right now: every 4 grams of sugar equals a teaspoon. So if you're drinking a beverage with 28 grams of sugar, I don't have a calculator, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. That's 7 teaspoons of sugar that you're consuming from that one beverage. And then when you have your fruit-flavored yogurt after drinking the glass of juice, you got another 28 grams of sugar in the yogurt. You're up to 14 teaspoons of sugar. You're putting a load, you're putting a stress on that very delicate insulin mechanism which regulates blood sugar. So be careful to get these sugars out and give that insulin mechanism a chance to rest, so your insulin can start working better and will be better able to control your blood sugars. Okay. We will continue next time with the final session in the 8-part series here. It's going to be on some summary of how to put this all together into meal planning. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned.